He said that about the Muslim ban.
She's not gonna say he didn't do it, right?
Tried to implement the Muslim ban. And then what happened, Cenk? But was he able to do those things? That justify taking physical action against him?
No.
And then what is this like glowing rhetoric? Like, oh, then do you want to go kill him, Cenk? You want to go kill him then, buddy? Or like, what the f, Anna?
If you think he's a fascist, wouldn't that justify taking physical action against him?
No, because that doesn't help. That devolves us further into fascism.
Yeah, exactly.
But
What do you mean exactly? What point do you think you're making? I think Donald Trump is a fascist. I think you're wrong. What do you mean? Well, if he was a fascist, shouldn't he be out there trying to kill him? Well, no, I think that would probably do irreparable damage to our democracy, and it kind of undermines the point I'm trying to make that we should be a democracy. Exactly. Exactly what?
I'm not gonna take a chance with a monster like that.
True, take a chance. Yes, true. Donald Trump is a fascist. And they're like, they don't even say, no, he's not, and no, he wouldn't try to be. They'd say, well, he probably wouldn't be successful. What the f? One of the things that you need to do, listen, at this point, just because I have so many random viewers now in so many different places, okay? If you're mainstream media and your staffers are listening, I am giving you advice directly, okay? I am telling you how to do your job. If you're gonna talk about something bad that Donald Trump does or a bad feeling that he makes you feel about the things that he says, always connect it to an actual policy that he either talks about or has executed. It can't just be like, oh, I think Donald Trump is a fascist because he talks about being a dictator. Okay, there's more there. I think Donald Trump is a fascist because he tries to centralize power in the executive branch. He thinks that he should be able to order people within the DOJ, not just as AG, but within the DOJ to do specific things. And if they don't want to, he'll fire them, right? Connect them to actions, and then you won't sound unhinged like this. And if you force yourself to connect every feeling you have or connect every accusation you make with an action that he's done, it also works as grounding you, because if you can't connect it to an action, maybe that's a feeling that's not completely rational, right? There's probably no world where Donald Trump really puts immigrants in detention camps or internment camps. There is a world where he deports them, right? This is something Republicans have talked about for a long time. That is a world that could exist. Internment camps, probably not.
Okay, on yesterday's episode of The Lead, Democratic Representative, of course, Debbie Dingell, told Jake Tapper that Trump was going to send her to an internment camp. But unfortunately, she's far from the only pundit and lawmaker who's panicked about the possibility of being thrown in prison or an internment camp should Donald Trump get elected for a second term. In fact, let's watch a clip from yesterday's episode of The View in which Mika Brzezinski also broke down on air. Let's watch.
This is the descent into fascism, if we so.
Also, I'm calling this out more. Stop doing this non-central fallacy thing. The internment camps would be necessary as part of mass deportation. They have to say somewhere being processed. No, fuck off. Fuck off. That's not what anybody's talking about. And stop pretending that that's what people are talking about. Nobody is talking about a temporary holding area while people are being deported. They're talking about areas where massive amounts of people are being shoved and forced to live there for extended periods of time. Anytime you try to play something like this, you look like an idiot for good reason. Don't do that. Don't do this. Okay? There are going to be internment camps. There are no internment camps. Well, where are they going to hold them while they're deporting them? Okay, fine. You win, I guess, but you're not convincing anybody. Sorry, I didn't mean to attack you personally. I love you.
Choose. Normalizing January 6th, it's a day of love. It's a day of love. I'll say it again and again and again. Normalizing enemy from within. I'll say it again and again. I'll say it again and again until you get tired of it, until it's not so funny anymore, or you think he doesn't mean it, until you realize he does mean it and it's too late.
Here's the big issue, okay? The boiling pot is real. You do not realize where you're at when you move there in small steps. Donald Trump has pushed the rhetoric and extended the fabric of whatever the fuck the government is able to do or meant to do or what parties are meant to do. He's pushed it so far that it does make other ideas more palatable or more possible. That is true. And this is why, even though you're going to be called unhinged and Trump derangements or whatever, you have to call these things out as they happen. Everybody in the media, me included, was complicit in trying not to cover Donald Trump as much because it seemed unhinged when you criticized him all the time. Don't let people bully you on that. That obsessed stuff, you're obsessed, you're deranged, whatever, that's bullshit. When people say that, they're deflecting. You know why? Because if somebody comes up to me and they make a wild accusation at me, I'm not going to say, wow, you're obsessed. I'm going to tell them why the accusation is wrong. When people say, oh, you're obsessed, oh, you're deranged, they say that because they have nothing else to say. What they're really saying, when somebody says you have Trump derangements, what they're saying is, please stop talking about this particular issue. I really don't have any way to counter it. I think you're obsessed, little bro. Go away. That's what they're saying every time they say that. It's emotive, okay?
Saying these strict abortion bans are a beautiful thing. Yeah. Are you kidding me? We got to wake up. And here's the good news, because I come with such dire warnings, and I mean them from the bottom of my heart as a daughter of refugees who came here escaping war, came here for America, to be a part of a democracy, to be a part of building something beautiful where they could be free. I'm telling you, the good news is that I believe women will be the beacon in this election.
Am I losing my mind in feeling that this hyperbolic rhetoric is not helpful?
Yeah, well, 50-50 in my opinion. So when Debbie Dingle says,
God, I'm so ready for the post-apocalypse. It's going to be me and maybe two of you guys and Cenk and Mehdi, okay? And God, I hope Israel-Palestine doesn't come up while we're roaming the United States, making it safe again, okay?
He's going to start internment camps. He never said that. That is not helpful. On that, you're 100% right. Because once she says something that he didn't say, then not only the right wing, but independents will discount every other thing you've said. Not just every other thing you've said, but every other thing that anyone on the left has said. He never said internment camps. Don't say that. Now, on the other hand, Republicans, you keep denying something he 100% did say. He said, I want a total and complete shutdown on Muslims entering the country. That was back when he was running in 2016. Everybody keeps, you know why they pretend that he didn't say that? Because that sounds uncomfortable. Because it's on Muslims entering the country.
He did say this. He said this multiple times. Not only did he say this, I believe it was reported. Giuliani says Trump asked him how to do full Muslim ban. I thought it was reported that Giuliani had said that in private, Trump asked him how to do one. Former New York Mayor Rudy W. Giuliani said President Trump wanted a Muslim ban and requested he assemble a commission to show him the right way to do it legally. But he campaigned on this. He campaigned. It's not even a secret. Trump said he wanted a total shutdown until we can figure out what the hell is going on.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
What was even going on? Why were we even talking? I don't even remember. What the was even going on? What was even happening? We had the one Miami club shooting or whatever. What was going on? Besides, what was happening here with Muslims? Was anything happening at all? What the fuck? What are we even talking about? Oh. I just wanted cute videos of Honey before I left. And so I was poking him and trying to get him to meow at me. And this fucking cuck, he fucked me. Look at how hard he fucked my hand. You recently talked about Nazis in the USSR, and it made me think, do Americans get taught how the political moves right-wing parties used to take over power in Germany and Austria, the parliament takeover shenanigans, the Civil War escalations? I'm not into World War III fearmongering, but can they see the similarities to Trump's power grabs? Here's the issue, my dude. No government is good or bad normatively, okay? Normative meaning ethical, okay? Fascism isn't bad, and democracy isn't good, and republics aren't good, and monarchies aren't bad. They're just ways of organizing power in the United States. And the reason why it's important to know that, to understand that there are just different ways of arranging a government, is because if you just assume that one form is good and one form is bad, then you assume that everybody will agree with you that anything that leads to the bad one is bad, and that we should just value things that lead to the good one as being good. But that's not true. There are people, I've said this for probably over 2 years now, I think, right? I've said that if you were to describe fascism without using the word fascism to Republicans, they would be on board with it. They'd probably be okay with it. In certain worlds, far leftists would be okay with a lot of authoritarian regimes as well. Liberals are just losing ground. Literally, the SPD. But anyway, this stuff is not like Trump said this. Trump said all this stuff. This is.
It was back when he was running in 2016.
Find the cameras? Yeah, they were downstairs. Thank God.
Shutdown on Muslims entering the country. That was back when he was running in 2016. Everybody keeps. You know why they pretend that he didn't say that? Because that's
Anna's not going to respond to this at all. Spoiler alert! I watched this. The reason why I was late today by 30 minutes, because I watched this whole video. And the reason why I watched this whole video is so that I can tell you exactly what Anna's going to say and respond to, while seeming like I'm trying to make it seem like she's actually got an incredibly predictable centrist, anti-left, and carries water for Trump no matter what the saying. That's not what's actually happening. I just watched it in advance. Okay, it's not that everything she's saying is so unbelievably predictable. Okay, that I can write the script for her. It's not that. It's that I just watched it in advance, okay? Anna will not respond to this point at all.
2016.
She's going to respond, and then I'm going to have to.
Everybody keeps. You know why they pretend that he didn't say that? Because that sounds uncomfortable. Because it's obviously bigoted.
Okay, he did say that. Donald Trump says a lot of dumb crap.
Oh, I missed the. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I didn't load the right script. My bad. We're not at the denies that he says it. I even told you this. I'm sorry. I didn't follow my own rule book. Conservatives don't deny when he does things now. They say he did, but it's either okay or he didn't mean it. My bad. I was on last year's apologia script for Trump. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I loaded the wrong program. I was doing a lot of Python yesterday. I tossed the newer one. Okay. We rolled back to an older version. I'm so sorry. Okay. Trump did say those things, but he says a lot of wacky stuff. Is Cenk going to bring up the fact that Donald Trump actually did this, though? That he did ban travel from 7 Muslim majority countries? It wasn't just a goofy idea. It wasn't just a wacky plot. It wasn't just a random slogan. He acted on this.
Okay, a lot of hateful crap, a lot of dumb crap, a lot of undemocratic crap. But let's just finish the rest of the story, right?
Okay.
Because he said that about the Muslim ban.
She's not going to say he didn't do it, right?
Tried to implement the Muslim ban. And then what happened, Cenk?
He did it. Wait. At first, he tried to go by a list that Obama had that declared some countries high risk. He didn't ban them. Where conservatives will tell the lie that, oh, Trump just banned the same countries Obama did. Obama did not ban those countries. He just had them. Designated for elevated screening, basically. That's what he did. Trump tried to ban those same 7 countries. And then I think because Saudi Arabia was on it, they were like, hey, aren't we like f***ing allies to you guys? What the fuck? And then Trump was like, okay, well, let's like throw a dart on the map and pick up another random fucking brown country. And then we'll do that one next. What the f*** we like travel ban the US of A? We can need to shut down Somalians and Sudanese people from coming into the United. What the Libyans? The Libyan terrorists that are pouring into the United States? The Somalian and Sudanese terrorists? What are they? What are their fucking pirate ships that are docking in Florida? They're taking over their jet ski? What the f*** are we even doing here?
What happened after that?
We fought back,
right?
And people went to the airports, good Americans.
No, that didn't matter at all, okay? That action, I know it makes us feel real good about ourselves. I'm not trying to discount it, but we have a system in place, okay? We have a judicial system.
He did it by executive order. Whoa, the president has a wide deference when it comes to executing policy at the border when he is operating as protector of the nation. When the president is doing things for the security of the nation, he actually has a really wide deference to do things with border policy. That's why he's able to go down into the military to build the wall and all this shit. And I'm pretty sure that this travel ban was done via executive order as well. Executive order 13769, protecting the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States. This was the first one that he tried to do. This one was blocked by the courts here. Hold on. Second and revised travel ban, rescinding the original travel ban for people from 6 Muslim majority countries. Oh, this one didn't get blocked. Okay. So the first one got blocked. Second one didn't get blocked. They needed a third one. And then a fourth one? How many of these, how long was this actually for? I thought there was only one that was in effect for more than, for the 90 days or whatever. So he did do these multiple times.
Went through the courts, it was challenged in the courts, and it was struck down.
Yeah, I got you, Anna, but I'm not gonna take a chance on a guy who says, I'd like to ban you and your family because you guys are so dirty and inferior to us, and I think you're violent savages, so I'm gonna ban you. I'm not gonna take a chance on that guy, number one. Number two, he actually tried it. He had to be stopped before he did his fascist idea.
But he still did limit travel from all these places for months, over half a year maybe? I would have to go back and check the totality of all the bans, but like he did do this, he executed on this. Why does Anna sound like fucking Ben Shapiro now? Because because she got bullied by the left. And then sometimes people will take on, do you know how children, I'm not trying to say she's a child because this happens to everybody, okay? This happens to everybody. Every human being is susceptible to this. If somebody bullies you, sometimes it's tempting to join the other side, okay? That's it. It's related to like racism never survives first contact, right? It's really hard to be racist when you start meeting people that you're racist against because they're like, oh, these people are pretty chill. Much the same, it's very easy to become racist if people of a certain persuasion or ethnicity or nationality start bullying you. And you hate those people, right? People are very, what was she bullied for? She was bullied because she gave a true take on how crazy homelessness is in the United States, and everybody in the left, Vosh included, jumped down her fucking throat, calling her an entitled bitch because she lived in an area where there are actually homeless people. Now, to be fair, although none of the lefts are saying this, Anna was talking about homelessness in New York, which is not real, okay? As somebody that spent a lot of time in West Coast cities, I will die on this hill, okay? People in New York don't know what homelessness looks like until they've been to LA, San Francisco, or Seattle. But still, there are still homeless people in New York, and they're scary sometimes. And yeah, Anna said as much, and everybody called her an entitled bitch, and they, jumped down her throat over it. And yeah, and then after that, that was like the path had been set. I get that the internet is largely the reason why misinfo is so nowadays, but how come this doesn't lead to the same things in other countries, or does it actually do that and I'm not looking? I can't speak for every country, but like when I was over in Wales, I was asking this a lot to people that I was speaking with because I was curious for older people. And two of the things that I heard from older people, a couple of people that worked in the NHS in the UK, one is that their state medias are big, which is nice, right? So so they spoke about the BBC. Having like a big state-funded media is nice because it's just like it's a place that's not absolutely fucking insane. It's not being completely and totally hijacked by crazy alternative lunatics or whatever. There was that, and then two was the like entertainment factor of the media. I don't know if anybody else in the world has the same type of entertainment factor that the United States has when it comes to media.
One. Number two, he actually tried it. He had to be stopped before he did his fascist idea. Okay. Number three, people saw all that and were like, yay, I love Trump. Let's ban Muslims. Yay. Be honest. Be honest. Okay. So we want to take another shot. And number three or four, whatever I'm on, he has his own dumbass judges now littering the country. So one of them threw out a perfectly good criminal case against him. A very, very important criminal case against them. So maybe we run into a judge who goes, yeah, I think that Muslims are dirty, violent savages. I'm just as bigoted and racist as Donald Trump. I do let it stand. I mean, Trump is saying, let's deport anyone who criticizes and protests Israel on a college campus. Not just arrest, he says arrest them and deport them.
No, I know he says that. Okay,
so is he going to try
to
do that? Of course he's going to try to do that.
How would that process work, considering the majority of these individuals are American citizens? So where exactly were he?
Okay, so first of all the non-Americans are screwed. You came here, you paid a lot of money to go to, wherever you're going, Syracuse, Penn State, wherever you're going, right? And he's like, oh yeah, that's it, you're screwed. You criticized Israel and my biggest donor is a giant right-wing Israeli. Okay, so that's it. You're arrested. I rob you of all your money. I rob you of your diploma and I deport you. I'm not going to elect a monster like that. Debbie Dingell, you don't have.
I understand you wouldn't know about UK institutions of detail, Destiny, but you're wrong about the BBC. Wrong how? What did I just say was wrong?
To go to internment camps. He already said all this crazy stuff. So stop making us lose credibility.
Also, I'm so sorry, and I can't believe that I have to fucking say this. Words matter, especially when you're the fucking president of the United fucking States of America. You can't just say random shit, crazy shit all the time and go, he's just talking. He's the fucking president. He's the spiritual leader of the party, of the country. Like, there needs to be less excuse making around this. Actually, fuck, I did the thing. If Josiah had just said that, I would shout at him and I'd say, Josiah, shut the fuck up. They don't think this. Why are you arguing against this point? Because conservatives know this. They do know this because every single time a Democrat says something, they say exactly what I just said. Conservatives do know this. My bad. People hate the BBC. I'm sure some people hate the BBC. Listen, you have no idea how horrible American media is if you're in the UK. You just have no idea. You watch things and you think that you're watching like a fucking American media highlight, and you don't realize you're just watching every day on how crazy and horrible and terrible American media is, okay? It's unreal. It's unbelievable. Thoughts on Biden calling 50% of the country garbage? For the first time, I will say I am incredibly disappointed that Joe Biden called half the country garbage and then apologized for it. He should have stood on those comments. If you think that it's acceptable to joke at a rally that Puerto Rico is a floating island of trash, while when Trump was the president, thousands of Puerto Ricans died on that island when Elon Musk was like, oh, I'm going to replace the whole fucking power grid, whatever the and then you want to have like a racist joke about it at your rally? I think that the Tony guy, I think is like decently funny. I do. I really do. I even think that skit was funny. I even think the joke was pretty funny. I thought it was a funny enough joke, but not at a political rally for somebody that's being accused of and thought of as racist by half the country. That's fucking wild. That's insane. That's an insane routine to do at the head of a political rally in New York.
On the other hand, right-wingers, if you're making excuses for how anti-Muslim he is, he uses the word Palestinian as an insult.
The biggest and best, I was thinking. It's funny because you can't even call out these things because they're so normalized. This is the start and stop of, if I'm talking about Donald Trump being anti-Muslim, the fact that he calls him Barack Hussein Obama over and over again, that's all you really need to know. I wouldn't, and no other human being in real life would ever second guess that. If they were like, oh, what do you think about Obama? And they're like, oh, well, I didn't really like when Barack Hussein Obama did this. I'd be like, oh, motherfucker, you're racist. Yo, what up, dude? You hate Muslims too? My man, hell yeah.
So stop making...
That's all you need. Anything else is just like, the bro.
Rob you of your diploma and I deport you. I'm not gonna elect a monster like that. Debbie Dingell, you don't have to go to internment camps. He already said all this crazy stuff. So stop making us lose credibility. On the other hand, right-wingers, if you're making excuses for how anti-Muslim he is, he uses the word Palestinian as an insult. He doesn't care about Muslim lives one bit.
Donald Trump is deeply racist and he says deeply racist things, okay? I want to make a distinction between Donald Trump, the person who says and does racist things, and the notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just gonna use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay,
I wish that I was waiting for Piers to pull out the why do you guys call him Hitler? You do know that like Hitler murdered 6 million Jews. Really? In 1933, in 1934, in 1935, in 1936? How many Jews? Like, not to say that Trump is Hitler or will even be Hitler, but you understand how fucking stupid that assertion is, right? Trump hasn't killed 6 million people. Neither did Hitler when he was on his rise to power. Neither did Hitler in his first several years of being chancellor. Like, what are you saying when you say something that fucking stupid? Nobody is saying that he's holocausted people yet. They're saying that he has the rhetoric of a fascist, which, by the way, he does so hard, so heavily that if it was a movie script, you would tell the writer to tone it down, bro. We get it. He's a bad guy. The media is the enemy of the people. Like, a little too on the nose there, Chief. Okay? Fascism didn't start with the fucking concentration camps. Jesus Christ.
What do you want me to say, Anna? You want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got fake electors and I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens and shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But
true. Why do we even have the word? Actually, true. I agree with Anna. We shouldn't even have the word fascist, right? We should just get rid of every single thing that's inconvenient to Donald Trump, I think, right? Remember after the Civil War and we were doing Reformation and people in Congress were like, okay, but for real, if somebody like Civil Warred against us, we probably shouldn't have that person in office again, right? Well, at least if they were if they held office before and they swore an oath to the Constitution and then they literally Civil Warred against us, we probably shouldn't have that person in office again, right? Isn't that kind of crazy, right? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But then today, the Supreme Court's like, well, but that's really inconvenient now because now there's a guy that's really popular who kind of did do that and he wants to run for office again. So we're going to have to go ahead and just say, we're going to ignore that part. We're just going to ignore that part of the 14th Amendment, okay? We're just going to pretend that part didn't exist.
I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he able to do those things?
First of all, his entire cabinet had to threaten, not cabinet, administration, his White House team had to say, we're all going to mass resign.
Thank you. I wonder if any of these are coming from me because of all the J6 research bullshit I've done on stream. Or maybe other people, I know a lot of other people made videos and shit on it. Regardless of where it's coming from, thank you. Yes, they did. But nobody even knows what this is. Nobody knows what he's talking about. Nobody knows what this means. Nobody knows what the DOJ is. Nobody knows what the associate AGs do. Nobody knows the civics in the United States. You have to have like a 5-hour conversation with an American for them to even understand why this is bad. It's so fucking frustrating.
His White House team had to say, we're all going to mass resign if you roll out tanks against American citizens.
Okay, so if you think he's a fascist, wouldn't
like she doesn't even care. She's like, okay, whatever. So, and?
That justify taking physical action against him?
No.
And then what is this like glowing rhetoric? Like, oh, then do you want to go kill him, Cenk? You want to go kill him then, buddy? Like the good Muslim killer murderer you are? Like, what the fuck, Anna? What the fuck?
So if you think he's a fascist, wouldn't that justify taking physical action against him?
No, because that doesn't help. That devolves us further into fascism.
Yeah, exactly.
But
what do you mean exactly? What point do you think you're making? I think Donald Trump is a fascist. I think you're wrong. What do you mean? Well, if he was a fascist, shouldn't you be out there trying to kill him? Well, no, I think that would probably do irreparable damage to our democracy, and it kind of undermines the point I'm trying to make that we should be a democracy. Exactly. Exactly what? Exactly what?
There's a difference between somebody shooting someone, that's fascism, and saying, I disagree with them, don't elect a fascist prick who says only white people are awesome and everybody else is garbage and should be banned. No, look, I'm not going to take a chance with a monster like that.
True, take a chance. Yes, true. And this, yeah, and the fact that they're conceding Donald Trump is a fascist, and they're like, they don't even say no, he's not, and no, he wouldn't try to be. They'd say, well, he probably wouldn't be successful. What the fuck? What the fuck? What's America? What's going on, buddy? What's going on, big guy? Every time I hear stuff like this, I'm thinking of the. I see his face.
Nick.
What's going on?
What's going on, big guy? You just tripped my wife.
What's going on here, America?
Should be banned. No, look, I'm not going to take a chance with a monster like that.
I know, you're focusing on whether or not you're going to vote for him. I don't give a damn about that, and that's not what I'm asking you about, Cenk. I don't think that this rhetoric, especially from elected members of Congress, is helpful at a time.
I don't agree.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Anna, why do I not agree? Because, so Trump's helpful rhetoric?
No, his rhetoric is awful.
Okay, if you don't want to be called fascist, stop saying fascist things. It's not that hard.
Yes. And it's not even like Trump is it's not even like Trump is saying like, we need to have, I don't even know. My mind is so fucked with the American discourse. It's not even like Trump is like riding the line. It's just like, he's like full of like, the media is the enemy of the people. What is the full quote for the? This is not, I'm gonna be on, hold on. There's no way that he actually said this, right?
You know, when
Fuck me. I've only read the quote, but I haven't heard it in context because I was hoping that the full context makes it sound a little bit better. Maybe, I don't know how you could make this sound better.
they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country. When they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, But all over the world, they're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at them. They just come in. The crime is going to be tremendous. The terrorism is going to be, and then we built a tremendous piece of the wall, and then we're going to build more. You know, when
Also, and nobody calls Trump out for this, okay? People come to the United States of America because the United States of America, from top to bottom, if you're motivated to do the work, has some of the best opportunities in the world for everybody, from lower class worker to middle class worker to upper class worker. We definitely have our issues, but that's why they fled here. Illegal immigrants don't come here because they want to kill people in America instead of killing people in their own countries. They come here because they want the opportunities that are afforded to people in the United States of America, and they're willing to risk doing it illegally. It's not good. You shouldn't be an illegal immigrant, but you're throwing your own country under the bus when you say shit like this, right? The only reason they want to come here is to fucking kill people. Really? There's no other reason to be in the United States of America than to be a fucking mass murderer?
Okay.
Not that hard. Oh, here, let me have dinner with Nick Fuentes, who's a Nazi, Kanye, who's a Nazi, and let me say there's good people on the Nazi side. Oh, it could be pro-Confederate guys. Might be guys who are pro-slavery who are good guys. Let me do all of these things. Let me say that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our nation, a Nazi term that is only used in the past by Nazis, and then say I'm going to ban Muslims, I'm going to do this and this and this to all the other ethnic groups, and then go, oh, I can't believe you called me a fascist. No, he is a fascist. I'm very happy to call him a fascist. If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us.
I just saw your tweet. What is the argument against voter ID? The steelman argument against voter ID is that there's just never been like instances or widespread instances of voter fraud. So why put another roadblock in between people voting if what we have right now seems to work? However, most states require voter ID in the United States. If you want to have voter ID, vote on it. The reason why people are opposed to it in general is because when conservatives talk about voter ID, they don't really sound like they want voter ID. They sound like they just want less people to vote. If a conservative was serious about doing voter ID, in my opinion, what a conservative should say is, hey, we're going to propose a federal ID program where every single person in the United States that has a, not an EIN, either a social security number or some kind of assigned number, is it a tax ID number that you get as a before you're a green card holder or whatever, then you should just do this, right? If you want to have voter ID, then pair it with the ability for everybody to go on for free. That's it. As long as you do that, then people probably won't look at you that weird. But when you start getting crazy about just having a voter ID, and you talk about the importance of having a voter ID, and you don't talk about any way to get a voter ID, and the country, or the states that have gone after voter ID have like gone after a whole bunch of other voting methods that seem to align very conveniently with certain demographics of people, but they don't want to vote, then it seems like you're not really giving a fuck about voter ID. It seems like you just are trying to keep people from voting. That's the issue. People are always going to look at you weird when you do that.